Welcome into this fourth installment of Curriculum Chats with Mr. Greg, Curriculum Chats with Todd. This limited edition series I'm doing both on my TikTok channel and on my website, mrgreg.com, this spring. This week, we are dealing with an idea known as Farrell's backwards planning model, or Farrell's elements of design in lesson and curriculum planning. It all revolves around this one consultant and teacher, Jack Farrell, and his research and ideas. Question at hand is whether or not I've adopted his ideas and planning model, whether I believe it helps to align the written curriculum to taught curriculum to assessment process better, and whether or not I've adopted this model, if I use this model or my own processes, what are those elements of design? What are those things that I find most essential in a classroom that I will use to evaluate teacher effectiveness and classroom culture as I grow as an instructional and curriculum leader in my career? To briefly explain Farrell's model, it all revolves around a foundational text. He believes all learning starts from text-driven learning. The students need to be involved with some sort of text. He even says that if a text doesn't exist for a concept, a teacher needs to write it so students can read it. And it's backwards in that the last step in a lesson is also dealing with the text that becomes the first step in the next lesson. After students read, they need some guided practice, they need some checking for understanding, they need some modeling, they need more application, and then they move on to that independent reading again to close one lesson and begin the next. It's backwards in that every lesson backs up to the lesson before it. Quite frankly, I think this is a horrible way to plan a lesson. Not all students read on the same level. Reading is not the best way to introduce every single concept, especially in a secondary classroom. I teach in a very text-driven content area with history and social studies, but reading to begin every lesson is still not best for this. Students want diversity. Students want to experience different things in the classroom. They want something different. And that really is what drives my process. My process is driven through student engagement. What do they need to know, and how will I best deliver this to them so that they have an opportunity to learn and deliver in a way that they can learn in a multitude of styles in one lesson? And that's what we have to be driven by. Our lessons cannot center around a text. They have to center around our students and their learning. And it's that engagement with students that will become the most important thing I look for as I'm evaluating teacher effectiveness in a classroom culture, because it's about the students, not about a text. Thanks, guys. See you next week.